What's going on, Jerome's? So the roller coaster of love of that is JJ McCarthy. I mean, there's been some highs, there's been some lows, right? So obviously last week was a high against the Detroit Lions, a big time game on the line, finding Jalen Speedy Naylor. Found Jalen Speedy Naylor quite a bit today too, like a dog in the streets, all that stuff. All right, and JJ is the future franchise quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings, except you knew that there would be a pendulum swing, and you knew that there's going to be some struggles with the first-time starting quarterback. There always is. It is what it is, and the Vikings came up a little bit short against the Baltimore Ravens, 27-19. Defense played phenomenally, but McCarthy erratic. Miles Price dropping it like it's hot. 2 fumbles, 2 furious. And McCarthy on Sunday, 248 passing yards. For all those people who complain about passing yards. But 20 of 42, not great. 5.9 yards per attempt, not great. Touchdown. I had 2 picks. Could have been 3. The second pick, though, we'll get to it. Only sacked once, 54.5 quarterback rating, which is not good. 40 yards rushing. It should have been more, but we'll also get to that. And his passing chart is the most hilarious passing chart I've seen in a while. Now, obviously, it's not funny because the Vikings lost, but this is a full-on shotgun blast, which is a great homage to the deer opener. Well, the Southern Minnesota deer opener over the weekend, right? Because we have to use shotguns for whatever reason. Use rifles up north and Wisconsin. Anyways, but so McCarthy had hits all over the place. He had misses all over the place, right? The 2 picks were basically arm punts. The touchdown, beautiful touchdown to Jalen Speedy Naylor. It's good, but this passing chart is wild. It's kind of funny to me. All right, and then also, you can't talk about today without the pre-snap penalties. Now, Will Raggett, Sports Illustrated, J.J. McCarthy says he takes full responsibility for the Vikings' pre-snap penalties, and then Gessling Strib. Kevin O'Connell said the Vikings tried to simplify the cadence as much as possible once the false starts became an issue. A couple of them came when we were motioning, he said. Maybe there was a little bit more hard count emphasis by J.J. at certain times. We have multiple cadences, and guys have really not... Try again. And guys have really had not a very large issue with the cadence this year. So they didn't practice this, right? So did J.J. McCarthy go rogue and just change his cadence on a given day, right? And so there's a great line about soccer by Bill Shankly, legendary manager of Liverpool, which Liverpool lost today 3-0. It's a great sports day for me. Andy, right? But Shankly said football is a simple game complicated by idiots, or something to that effect. All right. And you look at some of the quarterbacks around the league, they got the same cadence every time. Now, there's variation, sure, but generally it's the same damn cadence. Why is Kevin O'Connell trying to reinvent the wheel? Why do you have multiple cadences? What edge do you gain versus the downside of 8 false starts at home? It's probably the reason the major reason why the Vikings lost, because the defense played great, and offensively you're just sucking hind teat, putting yourself behind the 8 ball, 1st and 15 every single drive. Can't have it. All right. But McCarthy today dropped some dimes. I mean, that first one to Jalen Speedy Naylor down the sideline was fantastic. Also, a couple more deep shots as evidenced by the chart. Great one deep to Jalen Speedy Naylor on the touchdown as well. The interception, the second one on 3rd and 1, clearly would have been a touchdown by Jefferson, or at least he would have had a very good shot at it, but ended up being an arm punt interception to Marlon Humphrey. Can't wait for him to go on his podcast to talk about it. It's great, but erratic accuracy, 47.6%. It's not quite Tebow-esque, but, Plus, it feels like emotionally he gets hyped up too much during the game, right? Now, it's great that he's fired up. That's his personality, and we'll work with that. But it seems like sometimes during the game, especially after the Vikings get off the scripted plays, it's just like, it's like he's got 6 Red Bulls and his bum, heart's beating out of his chest, and he just wants to fire the effing pigskin. That's right. And was on the same page as Jefferson. Jefferson only 4 catches on 12 targets, and You could tell, like, body language wise, Jefferson wasn't thrilled about things. Now, was his frustration with McCarthy? Who knows, right? There could be a lot of things going on. 48 rushing yards, but needed more, because at a certain point, he just needs to understand, hey, it's 3rd and 4. I have a wide open running lane. I can pick up 6-7 yards, get a first down, move the chains, or I'm just going to hang out and try to make a low percentage throw as hard as I can, right? He's got to learn to differentiate that. And it's so weird because, we said this before, young quarterbacks tend to just Charlie skedaddle, just run. But it's almost like McCarthy wants to prove that he's not just an athletic quarterback. Like, he wants to make the big-time throw. Dude, you can hit singles, you can get walked, you can get hit by a pitch. Like, just take a base as opposed to trying to hit a grand slam every single time with no runners on. Also, the first interception was bad. Basically forcing it downfield to Jefferson in double coverage. Second one's understandable. Like, that 3rd and 1 shot, I love that one. I love that one, man, where 3rd and 1, you're going to go for it on 4th down if you don't get it anyway. And you get Jefferson singled up against Humphrey on a bang 8, had a step. The throw would have been there. If Jefferson didn't lose his footing, I'm taking that every single time. So I am mad at that second interception. I count that as a win, right? Also, like I said, looking to play hero, make the hero play too much, and it's something that O'Connell's talked about in press conferences. Just put the ball in play, right? As well as you'd rather have that too, where it becomes an issue where your quarterback is too risk adverse and he's always Charlie check down, right? Because we've talked about where it's like a cornerback. If your cornerback is too grabby and physical and you want to restrain them, it's much easier to go in that direction than a cornerback is too passive that you want to get more aggressive after things, right? And a quarterback who wants to go downtown Julie Brown, you can scale that back versus a quarterback who's always checking it down, trying to get them to be more aggressive. Yeah. Also, I thought he sensed pressure well, moved well in the pocket. Offensive line played a pretty damn good game, both run blocking and pass blocking. And plus, the nice thing is that McCarthy does seem to learn very quickly, because just think about his reps over the last 2 games versus, say, the Falcons game or the beginning parts of the Bears game, where it just seemed like he was a quarter step slow on decision making, didn't really sense pressure well in the pocket, and there was a ton of pressure because of the O-line. But it does seem like those things are coming together, right? He was clutch on the last touchdown drive to Jalen Speedy Naylor. Unfortunately, couldn't get it done late in the game when the Vikings didn't have any timeouts, and also talked about the false starts because of the Cadence. But overall, it's one of those things where, it's funny because, the haters and the losers are out in full force, for J.J. McCarthy this game. I was like, oh, I told you he wasn't the thing. They're pretty quiet last week. All right. So, no, last week it was, well, it's not a large enough sample size to judge. Okay. But it's his 4th career NFL start. I feel like there's more than enough good things to make you feel excited about the future. A lot of things get cleaned up, but you do trust Kevin O'Connell and J.J. McCarthy long term. And this is just another spot where he is going to prove the haters and the losers wrong, because who's going to take this personally? J.J. McCarthy. Who's going to bust his ass to get better? J.J. McCarthy. That's what he's going to do, man. So, namaste, elite. Namaste, the future franchise quarterback of the Vikings. That's what we do. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Jonathan James McCarthy against the Ravens. How'd JJ look? Eye of the beholder. All right. Lesnar. Hold on. So JJ McCarthy is inverse bell curve, right? So he starts up. All right. So he starts up. Yeah. It's weird with the reverse. Yeah. Anyway, it starts up off here at the beginning of the game. Couple touchdowns coming out on those scripted plays. Full week of preparation. Good to go. Middle of the game sort of dip. It gets a little bit too fired up. They're tossing fastballs all over the place, fire the effing pigskin, and then get to the 4th quarter. When you need a play, this is the man that you want, right? All this in the middle is going to get smoothed out. It's going to be fine. Every little ting is going to be all right. That's all, man. Anyways, your thoughts are thoughts. Let us know. Comment section. Again, this passing turn is still hilarious. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol production value.